I think scale is actually a really important part of my aesthetic, and I think it has to do with the physical relationship of the building. I used to build tree forts a lot when I was a kid, things like that, and I just like the idea of construction and creating something larger than me. I think of it more of as an environment than a sculpture, let's say, because really, I mean, it is not activated unless somebody's in it. I mean. And I feel like that can happen somewhat with objects, but I think for me anyway, I've experienced it most in situations. Like this idea of epiphanies has happened to me when I've been in some grand vista or in some place where nobody else is. And so I'm trying to recreate these spaces that people can come into it, and hopefully the scale can allow them to sort of feel part of this larger, grander, more heroic narrative. So. Looked at the space, the way I look at a space is I just sit in it for a while and I try to get a sense of the movement through a space, and I mean clearly the thing that I like about this is the height of it and sort of the longness of it, and so I think it lends itself to going up really high with these things and creating almost a forced perspective the way these things taper down. The thorns that are going to go, it gets smaller as they go up, so it's sort of a challenge to create something that is a forced perspective in a space. Beyond that, it's mostly about taking the space, the material I have available, and basically what I've been thinking about specifically at that time, and adding those things together. And I can never start building a piece until I can see it in my head, so I will actually sometimes literally think about the space, read something, and just go sit on my couch in my living room and close my eyes and basically just try to come up with snapshots of what it might look like over and over again and then one will just hit. Because I don't ever see these things together until they're in the space. So I only see them in small pieces myself. So when they get done, it's as much of a revelation to me as it is for anybody that comes and sees it as well. All the material in this show is it's called Albus poplar, and it's grown up in the Columbia River Gorge on a giant tree farm, and it's grown by a company called Greenwood Industries, or the Collins companies, and they have this great 29,000-acre tree farm that is sustainable. They harvest 7 acres a day, and by the time they get back around to the beginning, they've planted trees, and by the time they get back around to the beginning, it's ready to be harvested again. So it's completely sustainable lumber. So the space is really about creating sort of a grand, sort of a heroic thing that people can come to with whatever's been going on with them that day or whatever's going on in their life, and create their own narrative out of it.